there, soul friends. I just got back from a run, and it's the perfect time to do some yoga. I'm nice and warmed up already, but I'll take you through one anyway. It's important to get those muscles lubricated and those joints nice and soaky with those body fluids inside there to make sure that they stay healthy. Even though running is bad on my joints, I like to do it before yoga for a short run. Just to get my blood flowing and really make sure that my muscles have the right warmth to start with. Obviously, you don't have to do that if it's not good for you, but you'll find that a good warm-up makes a huge difference overall in your practice. But before we get into that, let's talk a little bit more about the yamas and the niyamas. I don't know if I mentioned them much the other 2 days, but these 10 recommendations form the foundation of a moral practice in yoga. Today, I just want to introduce ahimsa, which is the principle of nonviolence. It's the first of the 5 yamas, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. And this practice isn't just don't hurt someone. That's sort of what it means in the obvious sense, but to practice it that way first, like don't cause people physical harm or cause them emotional harm, those sorts of things, when you realize you're doing it, eventually leads you down a certain pathway of realizing that in order to stop doing those things, you have to stop intending to do those things. And if you practice this to the point of mastery, eventually you stop wanting to cause any harm because of your own personal development through that path. It's different for everybody in the sense that they conclude it in different ways. Mahatma Gandhi used this as his principal axiom through which the other yamas and niyamas were based. And if you follow any one of them, any one of the 10, deeply enough, I think, at least according to my teachers at the temple, you'll find that the other 9 sort of come along with it, especially if you're really deeply practicing it. And so it's said that to perfect mastery, you'll achieve a sense of such peacefulness and emanates such a vibration of non-harm that even animals would never come to harm you, that they would understand the peacefulness of your character simply by virtue of your emanation of that principle. And it seems silly, but I think that if you really practice it, you'll begin to see how the control of your body language and the control of your patterns of movement in general are one of the principal ways in which you can convey ease to another being, whether they understand it through being the same species or through being a different species. And if you can master stillness and fluid, graceful motion, I think that it's possible that you could walk up to a tiger and it would do you no harm if you're truly a master of that principle. Who knows? It's been tested by some yogis. In Autobiography of a Yogi, there was one that was the Tiger Swami. He had very good control of his body in such a way that he would fight feral tigers or wild tigers and win. But after he was in a particularly ferocious cage match, actually, he got injured so badly that he got blood sepsis and was unable to fight for months and months And afterward, he sought out the yogi that counseled against fighting that tiger and became a monk and became a realized master. It's a good book. Autobiography of Yogi. Check it out. So, that's Ahimsa, and it'll be the first of 10 that I'll probably mention in the next 9 videos. And with those foundations, it's much easier to live your life and judge yourself well. Judge yourself as good, knowing that you're consistent or inconsistent with these foundations. And they're not too bad. They're not too hard. Sometimes they are. But now I'm getting off subject. Let's start with our warm-up. So slowly come up into a standing position. And today, I think we'll do the 20-part body recharging exercise that I love so much from Ananda Yoga. But first, marching in place, just like Vihini taught us. I am awake and ready. 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 And then go to a jogging in place. Get those ankles high, heels to the butt if you can, and get that heart pumping. Get those lungs breathing. Get that mood lifted. And slow down. Bring your left knee bent at a right angle, engaging on the way up, and then engage on the way down. Engage on the way up, relax, engage on the way down. Engage on the way up, engage on the way down, engage on the way up, relax, and rotate those ankles. I love this warm-up. My ankles need a little extra work. And the other direction. Because it turns out, especially if you're engaging during this, really working the whole foot, this foundation warm-up is very important. And other side, engage, extend, flex, relax, extend, relax, flex, extend, and flex, and rotate. Getting that whole foot and ankle and calf working to wake up. And the other direction. And breathe. Soft bend in the other knee. This will help with your balance. Grab onto your other wrist if you need to. And relax. Bring your feet a little bit together. Arms out to a T. Nice deep breath, and then double breath in. Bending at the knees as you do so. Double breath out. Double breath in. Really engaging and shaking. And then the other way around. And relax. 20-part body recharging. So, it's going to be each body part in sequence. It might not make a whole lot of sense at first, but you're going to engage the left foot, then the right foot, then the left calf, then the right calf, and so on and so forth. Going up to your neck, and you're going to do it where you engage and then relax, and then the next body part, engage and relaxed, and then the next body part, engage, relax. And you want it to be gradual on, gradual off, just like that. The second phase is where you gradually on and keep, gradually on and keep, gradually on and keep, gradually on and keep, and so on, all the way up until your whole body is engaged and vibrating, and then gradually release, 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 working your way back down. Pretty straightforward, hard to do in practice, but try your best, and if you do it on a regular basis, it gets your energetic body really energetic. So, feet about hip distance apart right there. Get your knees warmed up a little bit if they're stiff from running. Double breath in. Hold on, purging breath. Double breath in. Double breath out. Double breath in. Left foot flex. Relax. Breathe out. Breathe in. Right foot flex. Relax. Left quad, or not left quad, left calf. Engage. Exhale, relax. Right calf engage. Right calf relax. Left quad engage. Really vibrate it. Exhale, relax. Right quad engage. And relax. Left buttock engage. Really go to the max and relax. Right buttock engage. And relax. Lower back engage. Lower back relax. Upper back engage. Upper back relax. Lower abdomen engage. Lower abdomen relax. Left chest engage. Left chest relax. Right chest engage. Right chest relax. Left neck engage. Left neck relax. Right neck engage. Right neck relax. Front of the neck engage. Front of the neck relax. And relax your head forward. Put your hands on the back by the medulla and gently putting pressure on. Engage while double breath in. Exhale. Relax. Now, we're going to engage and hold, working our way up the whole body and then down the whole body. Take a couple nice breaths. All the way out. Then double breath in. Left foot, left calf, left thigh, left buttock, right buttock, lower back, upper back, lower abdomen, chest left, chest right, left forearm, left bicep, right bicep, left shoulder, left neck, right neck, front of the neck, back of the neck. Double breath in. And back of the neck, front of the neck, left side of the neck, right side of the neck, right shoulder, right chest, right forearm, right bicep, left bicep, upper abdomen, lower abdomen, upper back, lower back, right buttock, left buttock, right thigh, left thigh, right calf, right foot, left foot, and double breath in. Tense the whole body. And double breath out. Relax. Relax all the way to mountain pose. It's good stuff. Now we're going to warm up our shoulders, putting our fingertips on our shoulders and creating shoulder circles like this. This is a really good one for the whole shoulder cuff. Make sure the shoulders are moving and the elbows are moving. And breathe with the diaphragm. And I promise this is an allergy sneeze, not a coronavirus sneeze. Achoo! Ah, man, I forgot to model good behavior. Achoo. Achoo. I'm actually going to wash my hands real quick. Because that's what you should do. Okay. Non-harm, ahimsa. That involves washing your hands, covering your sneeze, all kinds of things. Not saying terrible things to your audience while you're teaching yoga class, you know. Ahimsa, that's what it is. Okay. Other direction. Where was I? And relax. I use that word a lot in my sessions, huh? Hands on your hips, elongate the spine, yet keep it neutral. Engage the neck and make some small neck circles. Imagine a laser pointer on your head, drawing a circle on the ceiling, keeping your whole neck elongated in the process. And breathing. And other direction. And larger circles without the engagement. Relax, but don't relax too much. Otherwise you'll go way too far. Just the first point of resistance where you're opening up those vertebrae and muscles in a relaxing way. Not so many clicks. Just sort of like a self-massage. And then go the other direction. I love this. When you're doing it slow and easy, it is a lot like a massage. And then back to center. All right, let's get right to it. No, actually, let's do a spinal rotation. Bring your hands out in front of you. Left arm goes back behind you as you draw like a bow and arrow, like this. As you draw like a bow and arrow, and rotate back, causing a lower back spinal rotation. Your hips keep facing forward with their headlights roughly lined up. That way, your spinal twist is really the target here. really engage in the lower back and in the core muscles around the abdomen, the obliques, and so on, and really open up the chest while you do this too. If you're engaging the muscles, this is pretty athletic. And relax. Okay, now we can continue. Let's start off with Vrikasana. This is tree pose. So shifting your weight to your left side, bring your foot into either a kickstand, calf, thigh, or whatever's best for you. And then inhale. Extend your branches. Exhale, relax your shoulders and your scapula onto your back. Make sure your hips are nice and lifted, not drooping on one side or the other. And that creates a column that lifts through your center with your shoulders and hips stacked. Arms growing, adding to the balance, engaging the shoulders, and then relaxing. Finding it all stacked over one stable core. As you mentally affirm, I am calm, I am poised. I am calm, I am poised. And your hips are nice and open in this phase. Keep a point on the wall ahead of you fixed in your gaze. Down through the whole foundation of the foot and rise up with your spine light on your feet, soft bend in the knee, as if you're floating to the sky, caught by the updraft of the wind beneath you, pulling up on your leaves. And inhale, lengthen. Exhale, relax. Good long trees are perfect for so much more of the yoga flow. Close your eyes. Breathe and release. And as that release happens, targeting those muscles that are just woken up, allow that light of that energy of the muscle to float upward like a buoyant force. As you relax, it makes you feel lighter and lighter. I know it makes me feel lighter. Great. And then the other side. Shifting your weight to your right foot, bringing your left hip open into a kickstand or whatever's best for you. Go ahead and challenge yourself a little bit, but come down to kickstand if you're having trouble staying up. And if you can't keep that up, that's okay. No judgments. Just resume mountain pose and enjoy the quiet. Keeping that stacked. Inhale. Sweeping those arms up, keeping those hips level, keeping that hip open, shoulders relaxed, core engaged, spine lifted, soft bend in the right knee this time, whole self light as air. The wind may breeze left and right, but still the trunk keeps you secure. This is a core strengthener as well as a foot strengthener. It's not all your foot doing the work here, actually. It's a lot of this muscle over here that keeps you up. And the more you do this, the stronger that's going to get, even though it seems like it's mostly your foot that hurts at the end of this, I know. If you can relax the foot a bit and focus on the foundation through those 3 points, 4 points if you've got another perspective, and breathe through the diaphragm, keeping lifted, keeping your gaze fixed. Inhale, lengthen and lift. Exhale, relax back down. Tune in to how your 2 sides might feel a little different. How it feels relative to before the start. Find those muscles with your mind's eye rather than your logical thoughts. Don't know what should be feeling it today, even. Cut that out of your mind. Breathe and tune in. Where are you unable to relax? Where are you holding some kind of engagement in your body? Feel it. Maybe wiggle a little bit. That helps me feel it. Maybe do a little bit of another pose, even though we're doing mountain pose, to feel it. But don't go too deep. Tune in and release. This is a skill, guys. That's why I spend so much time, quote unquote, wasting time in neutral poses. Because if you can learn how to find those muscles in daily life, tune in and realize, oh, I've been doing this all day. That kind of relaxation where you're aware of what a neutral feeling should feel like, if you're able to cause a reset, your body's going to spend a lot less energy in wasting. It's going to free up your mind to relax. All right. I'm feeling Trikonasana, even though a lot of people don't like it. I'm feeling it today. I teach it slowly. I teach it very intentionally because as you bring your feet about 2 to 3 feet apart, I guess, it's a lot like warrior, and a lot of people engage a little too deep into it without engaging in a proper alignment first. So straighten your left foot about 90 degrees. Check that knee bend so that you're lined up with it. Check your back foot and bring it forward a little bit by the toes to protect your knee as you engage a little bit deeper. And then you're going to keep your knees straight but with a soft bend. You don't want to lock your knees in Trikonasana because it can cause damage over time. This doesn't hurt at first, but trust me, if you're doing yoga every single day like I do, it can add up over time. So, Trikonasana, you're going to inhale, bring your arms, palms facing forward, and this triangle that you're forming with your lower space is going to get another triangle added in this space right here. Ding, ding, ding. But guess what? You're not trying to overdo it and create a perfect triangle. You're going to create your triangle today. So I like to make sure that my hips are doing the bending here so that you keep this locked, and this hinge is where you do the majority of your bend from. So you start with square hips, both hips facing forward like you're about to do warrior, and then you're going to tilt, keeping a soft bend in that front knee, tilt to the side, and your torso is going to stay in this plane. Tilt, and then as you're tilting with these movements, keeping your arms parallel helps with finding out where you're going to find your stopping point. And you're going to find the stopping point that engages your side and doesn't cause collapse in this direction or crunching in this direction, like that. So you're keeping your torso neutral and engaged to find that point first, and then you're going to bring your arms to perpendicular to the floor. And you're going to keep your chest open in this process to protect your shoulders and to protect your lower back. And this should be really engaging because you're bending through here and then your torso's going a little bit. And this, keeping your shoulders stacked over top of each other, should be a really engaging pose, even though your hand's not down on the ground. It's going to keep your back really strong, so you're going to have to breathe. And I've been doing this a while during the demonstration, and you have too, so we're going to come out of it. Inhale, bring those arms back. Exhale, bring your hips square and the foot forward, and relax your arms. I'm not going to spend so much time doing the demonstration there. And if you didn't do it very much because I was demonstrating and confusing you, take some time during mountain pose to do that at your own pace. Tune in to where you can feel it. Right now, I can feel it right through here really well. Might be different for you, and you might have done a slightly different Trikonasana because you're more comfortable with it, and that's okay. Do what's right for you. Always. Always. Don't take my word for it. If I'm going a little bit too deep and you don't want to mimic me, A-okay. Just keep in mind that the alignment points that I'm pointing out, the vast majority of those are to help protect you, and so try to keep the alignment points and then keep your pose less deep, or avoid a particular rotation, or don't go to a certain part of your movement that you know, say your knee can't handle a certain angle of bend. Nice and relaxed. Now we're going to do the right side of Trikonasana, triangle pose. Come back out to 2 to 3 feet apart. I like to check my my hamstring stretch a little bit beforehand. Make sure that I'm not locked up and seizing there because I have an old hip injury. Got a lot of injuries, it turns out, as we all do. And you're going to rotate your right foot outward this time to about 90 degrees. Check that your knee is lined up. Check your back foot. Bring the toes forward a little bit. For everybody, the angle is going to be different, but you're looking to find the spot where your knee tracks in line with your toes. Now, this is Trikonasana. Inhale, palms forward, bending at the hips first, engaging and lengthening through the spine, finding that first point of resistance, then taking the arms and bringing them perpendicular to the ground. Inhale, make sure that your chest is open and your shoulders are stacked over top of each other. Elongate through the neck and breathe. Keeping a soft bend in both knees, engaged thighs, bringing them together to lift. Feet firmly planted down on the foundation as you breathe. Reach with your arms. Deepen during your exhale, keeping your back elongated if you wish to. And breathe. Make sure you're open in the chest, elongated, not crunching through the abdomen. And to come out, inhale, lift up, coming back to center, bring your foot forward, arms down, and work your way back up to mountain pose. You should feel it somewhere. Tune in. Maybe rub a muscle or two. Sometimes that helps release when otherwise it's difficult. Maybe stretch a little bit. Wow. But mostly breathe. And keep your alignment points in mind. Keep your gaze lifted slightly. And relax. Okay. Next up, we're going to do forward fold, one of everybody's favorites. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Exhale, bring the arms out to your sides, bending at the hips only for the active pose. Extending through the tailbone, extending through the skull, keeping a neutral spine. And finding the first point of resistance as you bend forward. Stretching by grounding down through the feet, the whole feet. And you'll find that doing so causes the stretch to reach through your whole hamstrings and even your calves. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Exhale, relax a little bit deeper. Inhale deep, and exhale, rounding through the spine, gradually lower, middle, then upper, as you massage the vertebra and relax, keeping a soft bend in the knees. Each time you exhale, not pulling yourself down with these fingers on the toes, but creating an energetic circuit, a mudra, to feel your body's electricity flowing through you. Maybe you're not there. That's okay. Not everybody feels it. In fact, oftentimes I don't feel it. It's really about how you're feeling energetically today. Inhale deep through the diaphragm. Exhale. Find all the muscles in your back that are resisting the relaxation. Inhale, put a little space in there. Exhale and release. We're going to hold it for quite a while. So if you need to come up a little bit early to prevent getting too lightheaded, go ahead and do so. Even take a seated posture if you have to. But I'm feeling the long relaxation in this one. Then to come up, inhale. Slowly begin to straighten the back as you push your hands against your calves, then your thighs. Find a neutral spine, and then slowly engage those hip muscles to bring yourself upright. If you're feeling lightheaded, tuck your chin deep to the chest as you breathe slowly. I bet you feel that. It's kind of hard not to do that and feel some kind of blood rush. But doing so causes those inversions to awaken certain parts of your nervous system and circulatory system that stay dormant otherwise. It's also really good for your lymphatic system to get those white blood cells infused with lots of fluid because of the gravity. And then, as the fluid discharges, releasing that inversion helps to circulate and move fluid through your lymphatic system from nodule to nodule. And so inversions, which I'm going to do another one later today if you're ready for it, really help with the immune system response, which is one of my primary goals in this whole series. Relax, because it's freaky out there, and get strong, because we got to fight some stuff off. And when you're strong, you can. Because you are strong. I'm strong. We are strong together. You know, I'm feeling like going right into downward facing dog. So, come down into tabletop position. And put your hands over your shoulders at first. Then walk them about a hand distance forward so that you would be able to do some plank, but we're not going to quite yet. Tuck your toes underneath you. Engage the quadriceps and the calves and push down through the whole foundation of the hands, fingertips spread. Inhale. Exhale. As you lift up, tailbone pointing out and up, lifted, not like this, but like this. Keeping your arms strong, keeping a soft bend in the elbows, but keeping them straight. Head between your arms, heels, release and relax down to the earth. Soft bend in the knees, keep that tailbone lifted. Keep active, yet relaxed, as you mentally affirm, calmness radiates from every fiber of my being. Calmness radiates from every fiber of my being. Feel the nerves. Feel the muscles stretch in your legs, perhaps even arms, as you reach for stability. And breathe deep through the diaphragm. Then to come out, slowly lower your knees to the ground. Work your hands back to still pose, Vajrasana. In stillness, I touch my inner strength. In stillness, I touch my inner strength. Relax your shoulders, relax your thighs and calves and your hips. Relax your neck and your eyes and all sorts of things as you sit comfortably. Put a cushion between your heels and your buttocks if you have to. And breathe. Gaze lifted. Nice. Now work back up to a standing posture. You don't have to do it all at once like that. But we're going to do Muktasana next. If you're a little lightheaded, tuck your chin to your chest. Two inversions in a row can be a bit much for people, so be careful. Then step your feet about 2 feet apart, or 3/4 of a meter if you're European. Keep your hips square, headlights facing forward. in Muktasana. Inhale, bring your arms up, hands together, shoulders relaxed, elbows open to create an aura around your head, and bend the front knee, ground the back foot through the foundation, and inhale as you lengthen through the spine, up toward the sky, bending your neck a little bit backward but not jackknifing, and exhale, relaxing the shoulders. And continue to breathe through the diaphragm as you deepen, as you lengthen, and relax. Ground down through the whole foundation of both feet. As you extend and protect that back, the lower back shouldn't be crunching, so you can tuck your tailbone to protect it a little bit more. Inhale, lengthen, and deepen. Exhale. And to come out, inhale. Returning the hips and arms to straight, unbending that knee, and bringing your arms back down, stepping forward, back to mountain pose. Close your eyes and visualize where are the muscles that you need to relax. Keep your gaze lifted. That gaze lifting your energy like a buoyant force. Breathing as you do so. And then the other side, we're going to keep our right foot forward, step on our left foot back this time, and making sure our feet are hip distance apart, about shoulder distance apart, keeping the headlights of our hips facing forward. There we go. Grounding down through the whole foot. Bring it together a little bit if you need to. If last time you were mostly feeling it in your leg, in your back leg especially, that means you might be putting too much of an angle on your ankle. So step a little bit more together, and then you can focus more on the spinal engagement as you create a backward bend. This backward bend is going to wake up a bunch of our spine that otherwise gets ignored. So, inhale. Sweeping the arms up, putting a bend in that front knee. Palm position. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale. Grounding the tailbone down and putting a curve through your whole spine, united with the leg. As you continue to breathe and continue to lengthen upward through your spine and back. Protecting that lower back by tucking the tailbone. Engaging the abdominals to protect the middle line. Keeping the shoulders relaxed. Grounding down through both feet, keeping the thighs engaged. Inhale, lengthen, and come back to center. Exhale, releasing the arms and the knee, and stepping forward to mountain pose. Nice. Nice slow breaths. Gaze lifted. at this point in our meditation, which really it's a movement meditation, yoga, these sorts of spinal stretches should bring about a sense of calm and sort of flowing and awakening in the muscles around that spine. If it's really stiff, if it's really painful, feel free to wiggle, do some of these spine warm-ups. Whatever you gotta do in that neutral time that I give you. You don't have to always be in mountain pose to relax. Do I look relaxed? Feel relaxed. Then we're going to do a side stretch. This time, instead of Parigasana gate pose, which we did last session, we're going to do Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose, or moon pose even. It's difficult for me to do since I can touch my ceiling, but bring your feet close together. They don't have to be touching, but you're going to lift up onto the balls of your feet slightly, kind of like this. You don't have to go all the way up like this, just a little bit. Engages your legs in a way that protects the whole foundation. So inhale, sweep the arms up, lifting onto the balls of your feet slightly, and interlace your thumbs. Maybe I did do this one. Interlace your thumbs and reach to your left side, keeping your head between your shoulders, keeping space as you open up like this. Between two panes of glass, not going too far forward or backward, engaging the spine, and exhale, reach. Lift up and relax your shoulders. A bend in the hip like this really helps to find protection for that lower back. Still lifted on the balls of your feet. Breathe in, open, chest open, lifted. And inhale, straighten up, exhale, relax. Mountain pose. If you ever need to during this pose, you can tuck a rolled up blanket or a folded blanket or even a rolled up towel. And that'll help support your ankles and your tendons if you have any injuries down in your feet. So that you're still lifted and protecting the knees and other lower back quadrants that lift does for you without having to engage too much of those connective tissues down there. All right, other side. Inhale, lift. Coming up on the balls of your feet, interlace your thumbs the opposite direction this time. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, relax those shoulders down as you reach, lifting through the hips and extending. Shoulders on the back, scapula on the back, chest open, not crumpling through the side body, but lifting through both sides. And breathing. Deep through the abdomen. Good hold, guys. And then inhale. Lengthen up to center. Exhale, relax. Nice deep breaths. Lifted gaze. Feel lightened as the energy that's released in relaxation gently rises up, pressing through those nerve channels in the spine, working their way out into the ether, into the air, into the light space. As it's released. Old toxins released from those vertebrae. And these neutral poses, while we relax, are critical for the squeeze and soak of these joint restoration techniques to take effect. It allows your vertebra to recharge and draw back in the fluids that had just squeezed out from all that engagement. And so even though it seems, again, like a lot of time, it's like physical therapy. It's not hashtag physical therapy because I can't brand it that way. That would be illegal. But it's yoga. It's good. Great work, everyone. Good relaxation. Now, this time, we're going to come down to a seated position. And we're going to relax down into child's pose. Bring the tops of our hands down and our palms facing up. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, allowing the spine to massage through the lower, middle, and upper back as you release down to the ground. And relax as your shoulders let go, as your hips let go, as your whole body lets go. In a tiny Shavasana-like relaxation in child's pose. Balasana. I retreat from outer involvement into my inner haven of peace. Mentally affirm, I retreat from outer involvement into my inner haven of peace. Keep your gaze lifted even now, and you'll find the effects quite uplifting. And walk your hands forward. Slowly press up. And now walk your hands forward into a laying position down on your stomach. And if you need to watch, if you're not familiar with locust pose or Shalabhasana, go ahead and watch for a moment because it's hard to watch while your face is in the ground. Shalabhasana is a pose in which you bring your hands, palms facing your hips, your feet about hip distance apart, and your chin
resting on the ground. It's kind of hard to hear me, so I'll speak really loudly. Shalabhasana is another back bend, but it's really working through the lower back and a lot of those muscles in the shoulders too. As you lift your toes up to the sky, this is the very first part of Shalabhasana. You can point your toes if you wish to get another nerve stretch. Some people like to keep their toes pointed down and feet flexed. That gives you a calf stretch that's really unique as well. Either or, choose it and reach. And then, if you want a little bit more of a challenge, you can keep your palms facing toward you, lift your shoulders up and onto your back, lift your chin up off the ground, lift your chest. Protect your lower back by grounding your tailbone down, yet lifting. Tucking in Shalabhasana, flying like a locust. I soar upward on wings of joy is the mental affirmation, and you can repeat. I soar upward on wings of joy, and breathe. I know it's challenging. Try. Keep it going. Lift and breathe. And exhale. Relax. Bring your arms in front of you and resting your hand, or rather your forehead, on your two hands or out to the side, whichever's best for you. Breathe and relax. You should feel those back stretches a little bit differently because the gravity was going in a very different direction. Subtle gravity does a lot of interesting things to your energetic body. But really, it engages your muscles very differently down here as opposed to Muktasana, especially because you're doing a nerve stretch through your legs at the same time. It's going to engage the fascia and the connective tissue all the way through your legs that also connect up through your lower back. And with this backward bend, you're getting some really nice connective tissue stretches, which is why it's important to keep this held for so long. Because it's not just the muscular engagement we're looking for. We're doing some release through our lymphatic system for long-term health. If you need to change your head direction, go ahead and do so now. And then push up, like a push-up with your knees down on the ground. Bring your knees forward. Come back into a seated position. Now we're going to open up our hips a bit. Not Baddha Konasana this time. We're going to do a gentle pigeon. So come back into tabletop, actually. And you're going to bring your left knee forward and up to your chest. Then you're going to bring your left knee down to the ground. I don't know if you can see that very well. But you're going to keep upright for this one. We're not going to do full crazy pigeon because it's actually a relatively advanced pose to protect your hips and your joints during. So keeping your fingertips down on the ground at least. Sometimes your whole palm if that's comfortable for you. Strong through the chest and lower back. Lift up while your knee pushes sort of against the ground,
and you'll engage through your hip and relax your right hip backward. And that stretch between the two hips is going to create sort of like an opening to relax open those hips. We're not going for a bunch of deep mobility stretch here, just something to allow those cartilage pads to feel a different tension, to open up their fluid and squeeze them out a bit. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Nice and gentle. Then to come out, slowly drag your right knee back forward, and then untuck your left ankle, coming in line with the other foot, and then putting a lot of weight on your hands, bring your knees back together, and come into Vajrasana. And breathe. You might need to put some cushion between your heels and your buttocks, whatever is best for you. It's really important. Excuse me. There we go. It's really important that you protect your hips long term, because even though they're very strong and surrounded by so much muscle, if your foundation gets out of whack in your legs, it becomes really hard to practice some of the more advanced yoga and really a lot of your daily life. And in the elderly, hip replacements are super common. So the strengthening of your bone density and your connective tissue in this area really does a lot for your long-term health. Then we're going to come back in tabletop again. And we're going to bring our knee to our chest, nice and forward, and then release and relax it down. You're not forcing it too far forward. You're not even forcing it at all. It's that bend to your chest that'll give you a good idea of the first point of resistance for your pigeon pose. And then, now that it's down here, you can slowly, very slowly, release your hip backward to a nice opening stretch for both of your hips in this posture. You should feel it in the back of your hip on the right leg and in the front of your hip on the left leg a little bit. Keeping nice and strong through the chest, spine engaged. You're going to feel a little bit of a back bend here, but the focus again is on those hips. You want to protect them and feel some opening as you engage your hip, maybe making some small micro movements to find nice opening here. And breathe. I know you're used to doing pigeon on the ground, but trust me, it helps to do this in the early stages of learning pigeon, because you can find some depth and some connective tissue stretches experimenting with micro movements like this that otherwise are really hard to find. And so this gives you a foundational technique to build from, experimenting with the angle as you wish from there. Whereas if you think of pigeon always being down on the ground, then it's kind of hard to do all those other motions from it. So I like the way Ananda teaches. All right. Hopefully you've spent some good time in that. You're going to slowly bring your left leg forward.
coming onto the knee. Bring your right knee parallel with your other leg. Work it back or forward, whichever is more comfortable for you. And then slowly come back down into Vajrasana. Still pose. Tune in. Find any tension that you've awoken there. Keep the gaze lifted. And release. My jaw's feeling a little bit tight, so we're going to do lion pose next, which is perfect because we're already halfway there. We're already living on a prayer. And it's a silly looking one, Simhasana, but it's really great for your throat to open up in some very noticeable ways. And beforehand, I like to do a quick massage to just slowly and gently, you don't want to push too hard during this, work some of the lymph down out of these positions where it was stagnant. I like to rub my sinuses just above and to the sides of my nose, and my temples, along the jaw, along this crest and the mandible, along the myofascial nerve channel. What's that called again? Trigeminal nerve. And this kind of massage, even though it's weird, opens some things up for Simhasana that I really like. I also like to get behind the ears. There's like a knob or a crest on the bottom that if you massage it a little bit, opens up your ear channels. Pulling the hair back like this also can do some interesting things as you put pressure on the sides of your skull and work the back of your neck apart relative to the spine, not putting direct pressure on the spine, but apart and down toward the shoulders. All of these massages are going to do some really interesting things to your lymphatic system here. And so it's really important to hydrate well when you do these sorts of things. And it's a nice warm-up before getting into Simhasana. It's hard to do unless you're guiding your own practice, because people aren't going to do that in most classes. But trust me, it does some really interesting things if you warm up your lymphatic system beforehand. So, taking your hands, fingertips spread, and placing them on your thighs, you're going to elongate through the spine. Keep your shoulders down, which is important for this one especially. Scapula on the back, chest engaged a little bit here as you elongate with a neutral neck relative to your spine, and then lift up, bringing your, it's kind of hard to see what I mean, but lift up off of your Vajrasana into an arcing, sort of like ready to strike posture, like you're lifting up and engaging through this part of your quadriceps as if you're a tiger or a lion about to go, and you should feel it in your knees as well. If you've got any knee issues, feel free to use a cushion right here and tuck it close to the backs of your knees and use that as sort of like a helper to rest back on a little bit. But it is important to get that springiness in the thighs right here. And so,
keeping the shoulders back and the spine neutral and elongated. Not like this, not like this. Neutral and elongated. Pressing down onto the thighs here. You're going to make a funny face. It's opening through this part of the neck here. Opening through the jaw. Through here. And the tongue is going to cause some muscular stretch in this circular direction. And what you're doing is trying to engage the muscles in a way that it pulls everything apart and open so that your whole throat becomes a wide channel for energy to flow through, and breath, if it were going through your mouth, to flow through as well. And we're going to breathe through both our nose and our mouth for the full expression of Simhasana here. I know it's an involved explanation, but it's kind of silly if you don't know what you're doing during it, because you should be feeling a nice openness as you do so, because the muscular engagement here, you'll find you can choose to do it 1,000 different ways. And experiment from pose to pose when you do it, how to engage different muscles and feel energetic effects. So, just to begin again, thank you for listening. I really appreciate your patience. Fingertips spread in Vajrasana. Lift up as if you're about to pounce. Shoulders back. Intense look in your eyes like there's prey ahead. Inhale. Inhale, and with that exhale, you're going to inhale, relax, back into Vajrasana. Breathe deep. Feel those muscles. Feel what that just did. Breathe slow. Keep the gaze lifted. If you're really going for it, you should feel some facial muscles that you don't normally feel. They could be anywhere, because really, we don't exercise those very often. Hopefully you didn't cramp up, because that's happened to me a couple times. If you did get a cramp, just massage it and breathe. My tongue really got that one. Okay. Neutral pose complete. And for this one, we're going to do an inversion. I'm going to use this wall right here and take down my picture so I don't break it. It's really important to protect your neck during this particular posture. Find a cushion or a couple folded up blankets. Join me in looking for something for padding as I do so. And you're going to put it up against the wall, such that your neck is going to be supported by it right here. It's kind of hard to see. But this part, the cushion should go to the point just below the sort of crest or the bumpy part of your occipital lobe where your cerebellum is located by your vision center of your brain. Anatomy. Got my degree in biology. It's got to be good for something, right? And it's good for a lot of things, actually, especially yoga. That way, when you lay down onto this, it's going to protect the curvature of your spine. Because if you flatten out by extending your neck like this during your shoulder stand, which is what we're going to be doing, Viparita Karani? No. Ustrasana? No. That's camel pose. I'll find the Sanskrit name later. If you allow that extension to happen consistently over time, you can lose the natural curvature of that spine that you want because it helps protect all kinds of things. So don't overdo it on shoulder stands without good padding. Also, if inversions aren't good for you because of cardiovascular health or because you're not experienced with them, take it easy. We're going to use a wall for support just so that I'm not pushing anybody too far even if they think they're experienced. But really, take it easy. You can just put your feet up on the wall like this, and this is a great inversion. It's kind of hard to get up against the wall if you don't have some good space off to either side, so I'm going to look awkward, but it's worth it. There we go. Bring that cushion up to the point. Up to the point that I described earlier. Whew. There we go. There we go. So just this, honestly, with your legs straight and your feet up like this, will cause some of the blood in your legs to come down. And this inversion, while incredibly simple if you practice it on a regular basis, it's good for you. It's going to be gentle on your circulatory system in a way that a lot of other inversions are not. And it's relaxing because it's also kind of like a forward fold or like Janusharasana, head to the knee pose. So try that for a bit. And if you want to go further, go ahead. You can work your feet up the wall as you come up onto your shoulders, and you're going to slowly work your shoulders underneath you, interlacing your fingers behind you. And so when you work your shoulders underneath you, with your hands interlaced like that, you're going to be bearing weight on your shoulders primarily, not on your head. Make sure that you're not putting a lot of weight on your head for this. So with your hands interlaced, then put your elbows down onto the ground and offer support in your lower back area, but mostly on your hips. Then, slowly work your hands higher and higher, or lower and lower if you're relative to the rest of the world, on your back until you're up here in the mid-back area. Keeping a nice, strong triangle of support. Bring your feet up above you for a shoulder stand. And hold this for a while. If you need to, you can come back to the wall. But you're trying to keep nice, straight support. And breathe deep as you do this.
Come down whenever you're ready to. I'm going to hold it for a while because I feel it. Now would be a good time to change to that feet rested if you're not very experienced with inversions, because you don't want to overdo them. But I just feel really called to inversions today. To release, bring one foot to the wall, and then the other foot to the wall. And then slowly release your hands, slowly bring your shoulders out from underneath you, and then lower your spine back down one vertebra at a time as you massage them like a string of pearls being released to the ground. Oh. Nice deep breath. Then I'm going to enter into Supta Baddha Konasana with my feet against the wall. Nice and open knees. You can come into Shavasana if you wish to. And breathe to allow your body plenty of time to reacclimate. Don't rush sitting up, especially after a long inversion like I just did. Just take your time in the middle ground as you breathe. Feel the energy. Feel the blood course through you. Now, we're going to come back to the mat, away from the wall. Go ahead and roll, even though it looks kind of silly. Stretch a little bit. Make sure your shoulders are comfortable, because shoulder stands can be quite engaging for the shoulders. I'm just going to do some circles. And find Shavasana. Grab a blanket if you need to, if it's cold in the basement like mine is. And slowly lower yourself down, butt cheeks spread if you need to. String of pearls. Lowering to the ground. Shoulders and scapula back. Heels out, down below you. Head lifted and lowered to a comfortable resting position where the neck is elongated and the shoulders are relaxed, palms facing up for Shavasana, corpse pose. Breathe deep. To prepare. Resume a natural breathing pattern, unguided and uncontrolled. Through the nose. That allows you to tune into your body relaxed. Find the muscles that are still awake from your earlier movements. Breathe in slowly as you excuse me, as your natural reflex calls you to. And then exhale, releasing that tension with your gaze lifted. Slow down, relax, and release as your breathing patterns naturally come to a lesser and lesser depth. Use the diaphragm for this breath if you can, but don't control it too much. And I'm going to give you a mental affirmation to repeat if you wish, and then I'll release you on your own to Shavasana. Don't push away the thoughts too hard. Just release them and come back to the breath. Bones, muscles, movement. I surrender now. Anxiety, elation, and depression. Churning thoughts. All these I give into the hands of peace. Bones, muscles, movement, churning thoughts, anxiety, elation, and depression, churning thoughts. All these I give into the hands of peace.
Begin to deepen your breaths. Rotate your wrists and ankles. Wake up the legs and arms, shoulders and hips. Extend the right arm above you, bend the left knee, roll onto your right side and curl up into a ball. Rest your arm on your head on your arm. And breathe. Pressing your hands against the ground. Come back up in a seated position to begin our meditation. Starting with Nadi Shodhanam. If you did the other videos, you've probably already done this one, but I'll walk you through it real quick anyway. Vishnu Mudra is done by bending your pointer and middle fingers into the little crease of your palm right here so that it can rest nice and relaxed. It doesn't have to be pressure where you're holding on to it the whole time. It's just nice and tucked. That way, your two free fingers on this side and your thumb can be used to close your nostrils in an alternating fashion without much muscular engagement. Your hand should be nice and relaxed during this process. Now's a good time to pick your nose if you're alone, or to go blow your nose if you're in a group, so that you don't have too much whistling or have nice clear channels. So, this will be left nostril in, hold, right nostril out, right nostril in, hold, left nostril out. And that pattern is one full count, or one full circuit rather, of Nadi Shodhanam, or alternate nostril breathing. The purpose of this, to cause the cycle of breath to work through the normal left and right side channels, both forward and backward. And that allows you to sort of warm up the energetic channels of your breath. So, without further ado, in a nice comfortable position for seated meditation, since we're going to go right into meditation afterwards. Neutral spine, nice and lifted, not too rigid. There we go, nice and comfy. Vishnu Mudra. For 8 counts to start, we're going to inhale, hold, exhale, inhale, hold, exhale, Exhale. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. And then resume your own count. Then continue until you're done with this cycle. Resume natural breath. Unguided, uncontrolled. Focus on the feeling of the breath. Relax the shoulders, the hips, the feet. Keep the spine elongated, but without effort. So that this stacked vertebra keep you upright naturally with very little effort. Find a comfortable seated position tilting your angle of your pelvis until you can find the natural stacking of your vertebra. Adjust your cushion if necessary. Don't count on getting it right in the first moment. Early on in the meditation, it's okay to make a quick adjustment. And then commit to stillness. And natural breathing. A lifted gaze. And a calm mind. So that when thoughts arise, you calmly see them, notice, engage, realize you've departed from your task, and choose with joy to return to the breath. Curious for the feelings of the breath, curious for the feelings of the body. Relaxed. Stable. Still. And silent. Shift your weight to side to side. Stretch your wrists and ankles a little bit. Wake up those legs if they're asleep. By working your way back and bringing them to a neutral position. Slowly begin to open the eyes. Don't let all the light in right away. And breathe. Slow but deep. As you wake back up to the world. Gotta give these legs a little bit more time to wake up. Their circulation went quite low during that meditation for me. But once they're back awake, I'll resume a seated posture and chant the Gayatri mantra once again to close. Chant along with me if you wish. You can find the lyrics on Google, Gayatri, mantra, mantra. Swaha. Om Tat Savitur Varaniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Prachodayat Om Bhurvaha Swaha. Om Tat Savitur Varaniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dio Yona Prachodayat Om Peace and health be with you. Namaste. Hope the rest of your day is wonderful.